That's all that's left of you. Backdoor things stormed out in a mood. Curtain call shows that you won't leave soon. Just gotta get your head in the right place. Alone, so you fake it. Come back, but you're not changing. I thought we wanted the same thing. I'm so tired of running. And all the hearts you're running. Another smile and apology. We all fake love the same way. Tell me what you really mean. I thought we wanted the same thing. Another lie to keep the peace. We all fake love the same way. A beating heart lies beneath your floor. Buried deep, the truth that you want more. I'll let you stay cause I'm lonely. Speaking soft, you say hold me. I fall for it every time. You always hear the same damn lines. We all fake love the same. Pretend to numb the pain. I'm so tired of running. And all the hearts you're running. Another smile and apology. We all fake love the same way. Tell me what you really mean. I thought we wanted the same thing. Another lie to keep the peace. We all fake love the same way. Another smile and apology. We all fake love the same.
Guys, look what I can do. Oh, balance has been restored. City have won a game. The red lights can go. Finally, we're back to blue. We love to see it. We really do. And that rhymes. Ha 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 ha. Hello, everybody. I'm back. Welcome to Post-Mortem of tonight's 3-0 drubbing of Nottingham Forest. We're going to be discussing the match, obviously, and good vibes, because City have actually won the game. Is that a turning point? Are City back, or is it just a case of Forest were a little bit stinky, and was it just one of those? We'll find out today. We will find out today. As always, this will be an interactive show, so feel free to get your thoughts in the live chat and the comment section, etc., etc. And also make sure to leave a like on the video as you are entering the stream, because it's free and it does really, really help see other people see this show. Let's get into your thoughts immediately. Yeah, Rigi already saying we're so back. Bernardo played well, didn't he? We'll get into maybe why he played well. This is the sour thing from the game, AA with a spoon. Yeah, again, we'll get into that as well. Got lucky because of the miss from Wood. It wasn't perfect, was it? Ake stone's made of glass. Yes, indeed. Get the signs on. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, because the blue moon is... wait, let's turn it off so it can be all dramatic. Put that sign on. No, that sign on, you plebeian. There we go. The blue bloody moon has risen, lads, and so has that one. Boom. Look at that. 2 of them. 2 blue moons. We'll love to see that. Yes, the blue moon has risen, and we are so back. Are we, though? Actually, again, that's what we're going to be talking about. KDB is the best player... Sorry, KDB is the best Prem player ever, isn't he? Says Spartacus. He's certainly up there. For me, he's number 2. I think he and Omri are in that top tier. Grealish, it worked. Yeah, we'll talk about Jack Grealish. My favourite City player. Thankfully, he's getting some flowers today because I thought he did play very well. So I was very happy with that. Daniel says, weird tactics indeed, but they worked. Nora said, oh, Matty, enjoy school. Yeah, Holland was great as well, wasn't he? I wonder what took Pep Solon to put Jack in the middle. Bernardo turned back the ears. Yeah, he was rolling it back. Grealish in the midfield. Holland drop was insanely good. We'll win the... Okay, guys, chill. Let's talk about the match in the shower and just like talk about lineup, for example. So we can't really catch a break in terms of injuries, can we? And that sort of thing. Foden wasn't even able to be in the squad because he had bronchitis or something. We ended the match with Akanji going off, and we ended the match with Ake having a potentially more serious injury. So that's a massive shame in the first instance. But on paper, this whole team in general and I tweeted about it, it just looked a lot nicer. It looked a lot braver, and you think, well, it's Forest at home, obviously he should be braver than, at Anfield, but it just looked really, really brave, and I must just say it there, left side was beautiful. It was, because we had Gvardiol and Jack Grealish connecting really nicely with one another on that left side. So let's get into how City set up. So it was basically it was the 3-1, go back to the 3-1-6. Makes that formation, I'm still not 100% sold on that system with the players we currently have. If we had everyone fully fit and a couple more players in the midfield in terms of the squad, I could be convinced that it is, and probably 1 or 2 more signings in addition to the squad we have right now, and it probably is the perfect system. It's unfortunate Roger got injured. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of it next season. Maybe it's more perfect form. I think it only really works when De Bruyne is in the team, in fairness. You need, in my view, like at least 2 interiors all the time who can sort of do that job. In the past, it's been, Rico Lewis there, out at right central midfield, for example. Today it was obviously De Bruyne. You had Gvardiol pushing up to basically, like, you can think about this as like a 3-4-3 diamond if it helps. So you had Gundogan at the base, Gvardiol pushing up to like the left of the diamond, Kevin on the right. Yeah, Foden had bronchitis or whatever the correct term is. And then you had a Grealish seemingly at the tip. Although what I will say is that there was, and then Doku left, Bernardo right holding at the top. But what I will say is that it wasn't as rigid as that. It was an incredibly fluid City side, which had a lot of rotations going on. And that's not something that we've really seen a lot of this season. We saw a little bit of that in like the Chelsea game where Doku and De Bruyne in particular were rotating with one another. But I feel like this is the first game apart from that, and that was only those 2 really. It didn't really happen anywhere else on the pitch. In this game, it seemed to be happening all over the pitch, which again was really lovely to see. I haven't really seen that all season. So this, even though, and we'll talk about De Bruyne, of course, having De Bruyne in the side massively upped City's levels, but it wasn't as simple as just throwing De Bruyne and City immediately play better. Like, Pep changed things as well. And again, this has been the most fluid, free-flowing, whatever term you want to use, that we've looked all season. So that was a massive reason as to why we looked so good. So I was very happy with how Pep set up the side in that respect. I've been advocating for, Gvardiol was like, whether it's pushing up to left wing or pushing up to the left of midfield, either way, it means that you can have really nice connections with whoever's out on that left side or whoever's, floating in and around the left midfield zones. And I thought that, Doku, Gvardiol, Grealish, all in particular, had excellent games in terms of on-ball. Doku in particular just like seemed to be full of confidence. I thought he took his goal incredibly well, was really unlucky to not get a couple goals today. And yeah, I just thought that in general, City looked so much better. And I think that maybe, in addition to obviously, the reintroduction of De Bruyne, we'll touch on Grealish later, I do think a lot of it is also down to just, this is going to sound like really, not even like analysis, like really simple, like surface level stuff, but the players just seemed like happy, if that makes sense. Like they just looked like they were enjoying themselves and they looked like they were having fun. Again, that sounds really simplistic, but I do think that matters in a way. And maybe that stemmed from, again, the fact that they were given a bit more freedom, as I say, in terms of the rotations. But also I think that a lot of it is because of we actually had a solid defensive back four and just like a solid foundation. I feel like if you've got that solid foundation, and we've discussed this many times on this channel, if you've got that really solid defensive platforming, then you can attack strongly from there. So I do think that having Gvardiol, Ake, Diaz, Akanji at the back there, even if it's only on a subconscious level, I do think that makes the players feel a bit more assured in their offensive actions, because maybe in the past, how like in the same way, if you've got like a goalkeeper who you don't trust, and now all of a sudden like your defense is sort of like at odds because they know that if they make a mistake, then their goalkeeper's not going to be able to bail them out. It's sort of like it's sort of like that, I feel like, from like a midfield and attacking perspective. Like they know that they can go about their business. They know they've got a really solid back line behind them. Maybe there's a little bit of that as well. Again, I can't prove that, but that would be a pretty strong suspicion. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Certainly if I was like one of the attacking players, then I would definitely I would definitely feel more assured in my forward actions, because I know if I lose the ball, it's not ideal, but I still know there's a solid foundation behind me able to win it back. And fair play, because a lot of the times today, our defense was very, very solid. We'll get on to like there are still some issues here, but I thought Akanji, for example, out at right back was really, really lovely. There are a number of times, he got beaten once in fairness, but in general, he was able to beat his man continually out on that right-hand side, and I was really happy with that. Again, he's had his best games out at right-back, essentially. I think he's got less defensive... what am I trying to say? I don't know what I'm trying to say here. He doesn't have to think about as much when he's out at right-back, if that makes sense. And I think that helps him. So, Akanji at right-back, that was lovely. I'd love to say Long may it continue, but it looks like Akanji... sorry, not Akanji. I think Akanji may have just been precautionary, because I think that Walker was warming up at half-time anyway. But Ake looks a bit more serious, and with Ake and Stones out, it means that sadly we are going to have to change the back four once again. So that's not ideal. But I did really like the attempts to at least try to do that with the four centre-backs. It's something we've been advocating for a while, and finally we got there. Yeah, everyone's saying Ake hamstring, and if it is, then that means he's out. He might not be out until... Sorry, he might not be back in the side until the new year, which is terrible, obviously. I have no idea when John Stones is back. I think it just illustrates that, sadly, we can't rely on these players anymore. They're wonderful when they're fit, but this just has like confirmed what we already knew. Ideally, we'd get a centre-back in Jan, to be honest, and then integrate them into the side, get them ready for next season, rather than sign someone in the summer and then wait and wait and wait. So... Not ideal in that respect. So you're 4 weeks, you're saying Punless. So ideally we'd get someone in Jan. I've no idea if we can do that though. So we'll have to see, won't we? Hamstrings, it's like 3 weeks. Yeah, so that would take us into the new year, wouldn't it? Because if he's back training in like 3 weeks or whatever, he's going to need like a bit of time to get back into the side. So I'd expect we don't see Ake again until January, which is horrible, to be honest, because there's some like mental stat. Let's I think I bookmarked it from City Extra. I think it was Opta technically. Man City have made more changes to their starting lineup than any other team in the Premier League this season, making 3+ changes in 7 consecutive league games within the same season for the first time since May 2021. So, yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. Ake being put this system to bed. What does that mean, Spartacus? Sorry. A JSP needs to go to the gym with Ruben. Yeah, we are indeed in December. Yeah, so it's that's a bit of an issue, and that's a bit of a sour note on what was a really lovely performance. So as I say, that's a little bit of a shame, but there we go. I was happy with the defense. Lovely. Overall, there were still some issues because even though technically, again, I tweeted about this, we only conceded 1 big chance today. Massive improvement. You know, we've been conceding 5, 6, 7 the past few games. This has obviously helped. There were still some teething issues. You know, Gundogan getting picked out slightly. The problem was tactical because we literally changed the tactics today and it worked, Nathaniel. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't know if you missed the start of the show, but there we go. And I've forgotten what I was saying. That's I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, we gave away the ball a fair few times in the centre, and that was upsetting. Gundogan a couple times, that was a shame. Even Grealish, and we'll get on to how good Grealish was, but there were still a couple of times where Grealish / Gavardo, again, getting caught out of position, and that is just an inherent flaw of the 3-1-6. It's why I'm still not the biggest fan of it, but I do understand that it's about positives outweighing negatives, and against Forest, clearly the positives did outweigh the negatives ultimately. Just on Forest, very briefly, I was very disappointed in them from a defensive standpoint. They were solid against Liverpool. They obviously beat them. They were solid against Chelsea, got a point there. And I know they lost at the Emirates, but Arsenal are quite good at the football, in fairness. But yeah, Forest set up really weird against us in that first half. They basically, as far as I could tell, tried to go man for man, and that meant the City just had a field day in terms of tearing them apart, in terms of those rotations. So at times, like it happened, for example, 2 times at the end of that first half. Ruben Diaz was just chilling out, like as a right-sided forward at times. And like sometimes Jack Grealish would be really deep, sometimes he'd be out on the left, sometimes he'd be on the right, sometimes in the center. Doku likewise, sometimes he just drift into the center. Like the players just like basically went wherever they wanted to go. And I think again that was partly informed by the fact that Forest tried to set it up man for man. So City were like, okay, we'll just drag you out over here and we'll pull you out over there and that sort of thing. So again, we'll get onto how well City played. But I think that we do need to preface this by saying Forest were bad defensively. And again, I was very confused as to why they set up how they did. So maybe take this performance with a pinch of salt. Maybe. Liverpool didn't. No, to Forest, Sebastian. They lost to Forest, didn't they? That's what I meant. Yeah, so take all this with a pinch of salt. It's not a case of we're back and we're definitely going to win the league now. Of course, I still don't think we win the league at all. I think there are still too many issues at the club. And I don't think it's helped by the fact that, again, we've got yet another injury. But again, fair play to Pep for changing the system, changing the tactics, and it has actually worked. Again, was that just because of the way Forest set up? Or is it something that can be implemented going forwards? I think it's actually the latter. Again, you can only really face what's in front of you. So City, in the same way that Spurs exploited our tactical weaknesses, City exploited Forest's tactical weaknesses today. Oh, sorry, Sebastian, I thought you were talking to me, my bad. Yeah, that was lovely, though. You can only beat what's in front of you, so that's fine. That's dandy. That's also why in the second half, we were finding it a little bit harder to create chance against Forest unless they were from counter-attacks, because they changed, they basically abandoned that system. So fair play, they identified the problem, but thankfully we'd already scored 2 goals by that point. It would have been interesting to see how the game would have shaped up had they done that approach in the first half, but we'll never know, and we don't care. That's the thing. Kevin De Bruyne is Kevin De Bruyne. He is still, for me, the best player in the world, probably. I know Sal's playing better than him this season, but in general, I still think he's the best player in the world. There is no way we can replace him. Obvious, not direct, not like for like. He's just very, very good at the football. There's not really much else to say, to be honest. He's just wonderful in every single facet of the game, essentially, whether it's creating for others, whether it's being a goal threat himself, him coming back into the side, also just like improves the performances of others. I know at the start of this, people were asking about Bernardo Silva, saying why did he play so much better today? And I think a large part of that is because Kevin De Bruyne is there feeding him. So previously, when Bernardo's played out on right wing, often this season it's been Rico Lewis out at right central midfield. And again, I like Rico Lewis a lot, but he's obviously not Kevin De Bruyne's level. And that obviously really helps Bernardo Silva's game. I think that if you have Savio out on that right side, it'll probably improve Savio's game even more so as well. And that maybe that's like an immediate improvement you could make to this team. Because again, even though Bernardo Silva was fantastic, I still would like to see Savio start there. So Kevin De Bruyne was fantastic. Of course he was. Therefore, Bernardo Silva was also very good. That was lovely. Doku, who we've touched on, got his goal. Really happy that he got his goal. I think that's his 2nd Premier League goal now. We know that we need our wingers to contribute in terms of direct goals. So I'm very thankful for that. Hopefully this is like the first step in getting 5, 6, 7, 8 goals, etc. So that'll be a lovely thing. And yeah, maybe let's move on to... No, before we touch on Grealish, who was... No, De Bruyne was the man of the match, wasn't he? But I was very impressed with Jack Grealish's performances. Haaland as well. I thought he played very well. He didn't get a goal, obviously. And maybe he could have scored in sort of like that first half, that ball from De Bruyne. It's not the easiest chance in the world, in fairness. But in terms of like his overall play today, outside the box work, I thought Haaland was really, really impressive, in all honesty. I think that this maybe goes hand in hand with the shift, again, the tactical shift that Pep did today in terms of giving the players a little bit more freedom in terms of their movement, in terms of their positioning, starting position. He just seemed really comfortable for the most part. Gave it away 1 or 2 times, in fairness. But outside of that, I thought his passing was really good. I thought his hold-up play was really good. And he obviously got an assist. I know, the goal's doing a lot of the heavy lifting there. But overall, I was really impressed with Haaland and his performance. So long may that continue. He didn't really look frustrated today. Again, he was happy to get involved in the game, happy to drop deep. And then you had runners running off Haaland. So that was really fantastic to see. And we will probably need a bit more of that. So that's lovely from Haaland there. Jack Grealish now. Great performance. My favourite City player. Proving people wrong today, I think. I thought he was brilliant today. And Pep, in fairness, did something I didn't think he'd be brave enough to play Grealish in midfield off ball. That was the thing for me. I had no doubt that he'd be able to play Grealish in the midfield when we had the ball, because Gvardiol pushed up to in the past, Gvardiol's pushed up to the left wing, and that's made it so that Grealish can then tuck inside. But as I outlined earlier, Gvardiol did push up to the left, but he didn't push up to the left wing. He pushed up to left centre midfield. And it was actually Grealish stands unite indeed. Yeah, so in possession, again, Grealish, sometimes he was helping out in build-up. Sometimes he dropped deep to help out Gundogan in terms of the build-up, but a lot of the time he was a little bit more advanced. I thought his ball... We all know how good Grealish is in respect of his ball carrying, but that was really lovely to see. And maybe this is sort of like the compromise from a Pep perspective. If we are now just accepting that the idea of Núñez playing in the midfield, we can forget that as a concept. Clearly, Pep doesn't like that, even though I still think it would be worth trialing in like a bigger game than just, Feyenoord at home in a Champions League game. Clearly, Pep's not comfortable with that premise, because he just abandoned it after the really good game against Feyenoord. So maybe Grealish centrally is a nice compromise, because even though they're very different players, they're also similar in parts. They do share some similar strengths. For example, Núñez, Grealish, both very strong ball carriers. And Núñez is more physically imposing. His strides are a lot longer in that sense. But Grealish's physicality is really underrated from like a steal perspective. Even though he does get fouled a lot, he is able, when he wants to stay on his feet a lot as well. And he's very good in terms of riding challenges. And that leads into the really good ball carrying that I mentioned before. So again, I didn't really have any doubts about it from an in-possession standpoint. Again, he was sometimes dropping deep to help out Gundogan. That was great, because it's tricky, as I say, to out-muscle Grealish, even though it happened once, but in general, it's still tricky. But it was the off-ball that I was really interested about. As far as I could tell, it was a 4-1-4-1. Please, someone in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong there. But I thought it was a 4-1-4-1 with Gundogan as the... It's always tricky when City dominate the ball, because to like judge what the off-ball structure is, because not like the opponent didn't have the ball for inextended periods to like make that assessment. But from what my eyes were telling me, it was a 4-1-4-1 situation where you had Gundogan as the deepest midfielder, so like the 6, if you will, and then you had De Bruyne and Grealish just ahead of him, not leaving him isolated on an island, still close enough to be supporting, but in general, that was the idea. And I didn't think that Pep would do that, in all honesty. But I was very happy that he did, because it provided us with a bit of, as I say, a bit of tenacity and steel in the centre, which someone like Núñez would provide. But again, he clearly doesn't trust Núñez on ball. Maybe Grealish is that compromise. I don't know. So I was just really happy with that. So it means that Pep is now happy with the concept of Grealish starting out of possession in the midfield. And I think that when we signed Grealish all those moons ago, I think that the idea was for Grealish to be that player anyway. I think that the thought process was Bernardo Silva is being sold, so therefore, and Bernardo Silva was playing more in the centre in those days. So the idea was that Grealish would replace him, and it's taken, you know, what, when did we sign Grealish? Was it 2020 or 2021? Was it 4 years ago or 3? He was here in 2021, I think it was. We signed him, I think. Yeah, so it's been like, whatever. It's been 3 or 4 years. But now we're in the situation where he's actually being played in the centre. And maybe this is the evolution for Jack Grealish, enforced by, you know, injuries to Rodri and I have no idea what the team was going to be, but certainly in terms of like this game, enforced by also an injury to Foden as well. So it wasn't even a conversation. It was like, no, Grealish is going to have to play in the centre if Nunes isn't an option there. So enforced by injuries, but maybe now is the time for that next level in Grealish's game. Maybe he's always looked the best for City when he's been able to drift into the centre. There's no drifting necessary now. He just started out right there. So very happy from a Grealish perspective, because everyone knows I'm a big Grealish fan. A shame he wasn't able to score a goal. Probably should have scored a goal today. But in general, in terms of like the the carrying he gave us, in terms of the control that he gave us as well, that was really nice to see. Considering that's been absent for a number of weeks now. So very happy with that, to be honest. Let's move into the comments now. Thank you to Ewan and Tinsey for subscribing. A big up to you guys. Hornshaw scored, but good game overall. Yes, I agree. Can we give fellow City fan Chris Wood an honorary season? I can't believe he didn't score that goal. And I just waxed lyrical about how good De Bruyne was. That was poor. That was a poor ball by Kevin De Bruyne. He got away with one there. I'll give it to him, because maybe it was just a case of rust. But yeah, we need to be a bit more assured there in the passes there. Yeah, Holland made the incredible pass to Gvardio, 100%. Yeah, Gvardio could have had a couple goals. That header, but also that shot as well. I know Gvardio's technically a centre-back, but I'd expect him to put that away, in fairness. Jackie G&A was low-key impressive today. I'm going to say high-key, Staffy. Can we upgrade that to a high-key, question mark? I'm calling for Grealish to play midfield for 2 seasons, says Pep the GOAT. Again, I've wanted him in the centre. I just didn't think that Pep would try him out of possession midfield, so that's really interesting. I'm very happy with that. Grealish in the free role is satisfying, 100% Prez, 100%. Ever since I saw Grealish's performance in the 10 for England, I knew we should put him down the middle. Grealish should have always been tried in his natural role, slightly central where he used to play at Villa. And again, I think that was the idea, but plans changed because Bernardo Silva ended up staying, and I think that scuppered the plan in the end. I think. Yeah, guys, get the likes up, please. Thank you very much. How many people have we got watching? Around 200 or so, just under 200. Like the video. Come on, guys. We need to get to like 115. You know the drill. How many times do I have to say this? Listen to Baby Nobbins when he holds up the like the video sign. You swines. Would a Foden, Grealish, Gundo midfield work? Yeah, definitely. 100% it would. How many injuries do we need to see in academy players? Says Jay Worth. Hello, Jay. How you doing? One of my beautiful members. Doku haters don't get to celebrate. Oh, don't worry. We don't have Doku haters here. I'm a big fan of Doku. Grealish with a blocked shot curse. Speaking of blocked shots, Grealish did block a shot of his own. I know like he had his shots blocked, but he also blocked a shot. So again, really, really nice there. KDB is always amazing, to be fair. He is just that good. So glad for Grealish. We just couldn't carry on with that failing midfield forever, 100%. And surprise, when you put in, 2 more attack-minded midfielders, all of a sudden City looks so much better. What a surprise. I don't know how many games we've played this season with 2 actual attacking midfielders in the midfield. How many games have we done that? Is this the only one? Am I being stupid? Is there another game where we've done that? Because when De Bruyne was fit at the start of the season, Foden was out and Grealish was out. Now that De Bruyne is back, Foden's out, but Grealish is in. Is this the first game where we've seen that? And again, what a surprise. We look so much better because of it. I'm just trying to think back if there was another game. If there's another game that I'm totally missing, chaps and chapettes, let me know. I'm pretty sure this is the only one that we've seen. In terms of like players starting, I don't mean like a player coming on. In terms of like starting, have we seen anything like that this season? I don't think we have. I don't think we have. And we could have done, by the way. We could have done, but Pep opted not to. Maybe Grealish Central, one of the few good things to come out of a bad period. I did say, I don't think that this is now a massive comeback and City go on to win 1 million games in a row, but I did say after the Liverpool game, it does feel that this is like the absolute bottom of where City are going to end up. Like, we've had a terrible run. I think the run's been so terrible that it now puts us out of the title race because now we just can't make any errors, and we all know we are going to make errors throughout the remainder of the season. I do get the feeling that with now entering a better period in terms of, again, players coming back and that sort of thing. Although that being said, we've touched on the injuries again. Pep is innovative but rigid with certain players. Grealish isn't a winger, but he can be a great midfielder. Yeah, he's not a winger. He's a wing fielder, as they say. Well, as I say. He's a bit of both. I think Bernardo should start at right wing or Savio. I would personally still have Savio. I still think that Savio is the better option there. But I was very happy with Bernardo Silva's performance. But again, it's not a case of who should start there, X or Y. Like, we will rotate. Some games Savio will start on the right. Sometimes Bernardo will start on the right. Sometimes Bob will start on the right. So it's not just a case of, he's always going to play. You know what I mean? Really pleased with today's result, more so the clean sheet. Shame for the injuries. Yeah, we've touched on that 100%. I think, yeah, Kova probably comes in to replace Gundo in terms of like this specific system. Just having a look at it now. It just, because again, City were sometimes there for the taking today. Like even though we kept a clean sheet today, there were still times where a better team takes advantage of that. I've touched on Forest, how poor they were defensively. But also going forwards, they were lacking in any real quality. Does anyone know why Hudson-Odoi didn't start? Because he was on the bench. And he just didn't come on. I can only assume he's injured because he's been quite good this season. So I was a little bit confused as to why he didn't play. But outside of Elanga, they were lacking any sort of real forward quality. So we did get away with that, in fairness. We did get away with that. Hollandshev scored. He had 2 shots, one being a chip from an awkward angle. No, I don't agree, IDK. I think he could have scored a goal. Definitely. Or could, not should. That's what I like with Grealish, his work rate in both defence and offence. Totally. I know he had a good cameo snap, but I don't want to see Rico in the starting line. I do agree. Again, I love Rico, but once again, it's a situation where the team isn't strong enough physically to accommodate someone like Rico Lewis right now. I don't think there's quite a role for him. I don't think there's quite a role for him, to be honest. In terms of like a starter, anyway, in most games, in most games. Crystal Palace versus City 4-2 last season with Foden and De Bruyne in the middle. Is that what the last time they played together? Wait, what? No, they played together against West Ham as well. I mean, like this season, have we played 2 attacking midfielders? Again, I feel like we haven't. Like the video, guys, by the way. We are winning every single game of football. Yeah, chill. Absolutely chill. Let's just skip ahead to the more recent ones. Having said that, about Hall and him continuing going to the back post was frustrating. Meant Burnley had to go into the central area, leaving a lot of space on City's right-hand side. But overall, I thought Holland played really well, to be honest with you. Only reason I picked Silva over Savio is because Silva doesn't lose the ball as much as Savio. True, but I still think it's worth the risk with Savio, to be honest. Yeah, big up. Would love to blunt discussion, analysis with you about City tactics. I don't know what that means, Tinsey. We're talking about it now, though. We're talking about it now. Yeah, get it up to 115. Come on, the lads. Big up. But there we go. So, we know the reinforcements are needed in Jan. An immediate improvement can just be take out Gundo, put in replacement player. But from like an attacking dynamics perspective, this works a lot better. Of course it did. And we've got options as well. Like, if De Bruyne can stay fit, then we have a lot of options. The worst case scenario is De Bruyne can't stay fit. The worst case scenario is De Bruyne can't stay fit, in which case it's going to have to probably be, especially with Bob out, it's going to have to be, Grealish and Foden, or Doku and Foden with Gvardiol pushing up. But if we want to keep it like this, so Gvardiol is not strictly out at left wing, more so left central midfield. I'm just thinking about it now. What's better? Is it better for Gvardiol to push up to left wing outright, or is it better to do what he did today? I guess in theory it's probably better to do what he did today, because I guess he'd have less distance to cover, maybe? That could be a thing. Potentially. So maybe that is the situation. Maybe that is. In which case what? In which case we'd still probably need Doku starting there, or Savio starting on the left, although, as you guys know, I do prefer him out on the right. But if Doku can keep having games like this, then it makes total sense for him to stay out on the left wing, and then you could think about who you want in the centre again. It depends who's fit. If De Bruyne gets injured again, becomes another issue. But I think the good news is that I think we can go up a level from here. I think we can go up a level. There is a solution here, but it does require De Bruyne staying fit and Doku staying fit and Grealish staying fit, etc., etc. But there is definitely a nice platform here to build upon, and I think that with our players coming back, like Bob, Foden, Stones, Ake, I think it can only get better, in all honesty. So shout out to them. Shout out to the lads, the boys. Any hope for Juve game? I'm not confident we can win over there. Hey, Juve stink a little bit, don't they? Or have I made that up? So there you go. Grealish works as an 8. I think that helps, as we don't need to spend on a proper 8, but maybe a backup 8 and defo 6 like Wharton. Oh, you've changed your name. Big up to you, Sort Gamer. Do you think Doku could ever put up Sterling numbers? Like prime Sterling numbers? I don't think so. Sterling was putting up numbers only bettered by Messi. So I don't think so, to be honest. I still think Haaland wins it overall. Grealish was dropping deep down to the centre backs. He was, yeah, in like those earlier phases. Again, that's what I really liked. And this is why this is a tactical situation. Pep today, this sounds very simplistic. Pep today gave the players a lot more freedom. Like, Grealish wasn't just instructed to stay at the tip of the diamond. He was, as you say, allowed to drop back and help with build-up a lot, which I really like, because Grealish is very good in terms of build-up. So why wouldn't you do that if we're struggling to build it with like a 3-1? Why wouldn't you do that? Big up to you, Spartacus. We're ready to hear the 3 players that will fix us for next season. Yes, big up to you, Spartacus. That will be against Palace, yes. Against Palace. You are a fanatic ultra, so you do get call-in privileges. Big up to you. Tinsy wants to crap on everyone. What? I don't know what that means. We don't make near post run. We'll score more goals if we make them, says Pumler. IDK says, the thing that bothers me most about Bernardo is how incredibly impatient he is. It's rare to see him jockey. He just sprints full speed at them. Yeah. It's not like a natural instinct, in fairness, is it? If we have both Savio and Doku on the wings, it'll be too risky and we'd lose the ball. I don't know if I agree, Rain, because Savio's not really that sort of winger. He's very cautious with the ball. I think he's got enough retention, in all honesty. Gvardiol in the Stones role, I would like to see that trialed at some point. Pep going AWOL helped. Again, I just feel like there was a more positive mood on the pitch today as well. I think that the players were just enjoying their football. I think that maybe like there's been like a frank discussion like between the players going like, look, it's like the rut ends now. Again, I don't know, but I feel like something has been said. there just seems to be like a bit of a mentality shift. Again, maybe I'm like reading too much into it, but I don't know what you guys thought. I just felt that the players today just seemed to be playing with a bit, well, we know they were playing with a bit more freedom. Maybe that translates into just being happier in general. I'm not sure. That's what it seemed like to me. And again, it'd be really nice to see Bob in this team, Foden in this team, Savio in this team, Stones when he comes back, Kovacic when he comes back. That'd be really nice to see. Hello, Leon. No worries at all. Leon, of course, it's going well because you're here. Gained 2 points. Yeah, technically, we've gained ground. I'm still convinced we're not in this title race, but technically, we've gained ground on both Arsenal and Liverpool because we've gained a +1 goal difference on Arsenal and we've gained 2 points on Liverpool. So, yeah. You've here on a stinky run. There you go. Sorted. Has Foden fit in now? Well, I mean, it's not a case of him fitting in. He's got to earn his place, hasn't he? Like, this isn't a charity, so he'll have to earn his place. In terms of, like, this exact system, you could play him in any of the 4 positions. Like, you could play him, in theory, you could play him instead of Bernardo, instead of Doku, instead of Grealish, instead of Bernardo, in theory. But this isn't a charity case. Like, he's going to have to work his way into the team. And if this, let's say for argument's sake, this same team, wins the next 5 in a row or something, then I don't think we should change anything, in all honesty. Because, like, we're winning. So you don't change a winning team, do you? If you can, a couple of tweaks here and there. But if we go on some mad run and this is a miracle situation, then and let's say Grealish keeps dropping brilliant games, then he'll just have to hold a bench for a little bit, and that's absolutely fine because we are a team at the end of the day, and we're not individual FC. We are a team ultimately. With this system anyway, like we know that we don't play the same system every single time. It might change, it might adapt. And again, this is why you'd have a squad, in fairness. I'd still like to see Savio start some games. But again, if Bernardo keeps dropping great games, then there's no room for Savio. So we'll have to see. But again, it's a squad. It's a squad game. It's a team game. I think I read that from IDK. Yes, I did. There's no way, because I don't know what your reasoning is. A 15-minute phone-in show or comments, like an actual discussion. Good for you. But if you want a discussion on if you want to phone in on my show, then you need to become a Nobbler or one of the paid members. I think it's Fanatic Ultra if you want to call in. If you don't, then you don't have to. Jack's Class Day, totally agree, Colin. Echeverry will solve all the problems. Oh dear. Oh dear. We'll have to see. I still think that the highest ceiling for this team was when De Bruyne and Foden were in the midfield. But again, if Grealish and De Bruyne is the new thing, then it's the new thing. We'll have to see, won't we? Jack, absolutely. Yes. If you want to phone in and support the channel in doing so, Tinsy, you're absolutely welcome to do so. The Patreon link is in the video description, or you can click the join button and become a Fanatic Ultra to get call-in privileges on our watch-alongs at halftime. And who knows, if we get enough people who want to call in, maybe we'll do like a call-in show, sort of thing. But outside of that, that is a thing. They aren't imperious, and in fairness, neither are Arsenal. But you don't need to be imperious this season, in all honesty. You don't need to be, because City have dropped off. I didn't feel safe until we were up 3-0. Never felt like the final game, though, says Miami. Indeed. In fairness, again, I think part of that stemmed from Forest being a little bit poor offensively. In general, we were more solid, but there were still some issues. Gvardiol giving away a ball. Another error could have led to a goal, maybe should have led to a goal. There was another moment. It wasn't Gvardiol's fault. In fact, I think Gvardiol lost it. This was in the second half at 2-0. Gvardiol lost it in the midfield, but then Doku won it back. Great stuff. So then Gvardiol then went back into like his in possession position. And then Doku lost it. And now all of a sudden we've got no left back. So one ball through and Forest probably should have scored from it. So it's not perfect by any means. And I've still got grievances with this system, but it's fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Pick up the widget, yeah. Oh, wait, the super chat. Thank you so much, Andrew. It's a good point away, Newcastle. Fair result. Yeah, I saw you draw. Crazy, 3-all. Andrew, I don't know if you've seen the widget. Your face is on the widget. Stick around. It pops up every 20 minutes. Stick around. Your name will now be on the most recent super chat, and you've done the most super chats on this channel. So in terms of quantity, so big up to you, man. That's my boy Andrew. Your face is on my channel now, until someone usurps you as top super chatter, or recent super chatter. In fairness, yeah, big up to you, Andrew. Thank you so much for your support as always. And yeah, and Salah, by the way, I know I didn't watch the game. I will watch the game, but from what I understand, Salah again illustrating why he's been the best player in the Premier League this season, and by a fair margin. It's, you know, I thought that Saka was the best player, sort of like around, I don't know, like 7-8 games in, something like that. But Salah's just on another planet, isn't he? It's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Made 50. Oh, well done, Spartacus. Big up to you. What's the TLDR? TLDR asks Daniel. Yeah, so TLDR is that we were far more solid defensively. Jack Grealish in the midfield is a solution, potentially, to add a bit more steel to the midfield. Still need reinforcements in terms of defense and defensive midfield. Fun, fluid game. Pep got the tactics spot on. We haven't played like this all season, in my opinion. And I think it's far more than personnel. It's not as simple as just De Bruyne coming back into the team. It's not as simple as just Grealish in the midfield. I think there was maybe, again, I know it's a one-game sample, but maybe like a bit of a mentality shift as well in terms of like actually enjoying the football, and with these fluid rotations, making it impossible for Forest to pick us up overall, making it a nightmare for their defensive midfield. That's the TLDR. Gvardio's popping off, man. He, as I say, he was on the left side of the diamond nominally. Absolute boy. He did that against Arsenal as well, didn't he? So we're getting closer and closer to the idea of Gvardiol playing in the Stones role. We're nearly there. Yeah, on Ortega, he did really well to save. There was at least one shot, maybe even two, like decent saves that he made. I really rate Ortega. I would still say that, again, there were still a couple instances where his not as good distribution did lead to at least one of those chances. So props to Ortega for the save, but I'm personally still of the view that Ederson should be starting. But big up to Ortega for that great save. Obviously, I'm not going to have a go at him. Grealish evolution arc, says the Mayor of Peninia. There's one chance Cavani lost the ball because Ortega couldn't take the weight out of the ball. That I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, so like, was it Ortega like first time trying to play in Gvardiol, and then yeah, the bounce evades him. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, we'll do a watch along. Yes, Ahmad, I will indeed. When is the Juve game? I don't know when it is, but yes, I will do it. Pep the Go. I'm thinking that as well. Like, I was going to give Grealish man of the match, but it's hard to not give it to De Bruyne. But low key, Grealish may have deserved it. So fair play, man. Fair play. Pep saw your red light room and decided to end it. You stopped the rot. Yeah, Savannah, big up. When the streak's over. E-Ink, right? You need to upgrade. I mean, you're not the recent super chatter now because Andrew's now usurped you. Get a profile picture. If you super chat to this channel, get a bloody profile picture because it's interesting for the viewers to see on the widget. I don't want to see default Comic Sans looking ass E. Yeah? Get a profile picture so it looks fun in the widget. That's your job. That's your job. Big up to you. Thank you for your super chats, but it's not good enough. Get a proper profile picture, yeah? You too, IDK. And even if you don't super chat, get a proper profile picture. You swines. Do it. I want to see pretty things with my eyes. I'll just go look at my fiance. Aren't I a sap? Would I start Ortega on Saturday? No, I still think Ederson's the number one. But I know Pep keeps saying that he doesn't. I've got two great goalkeepers, so there's not like an issue with starting Ederson. I don't know how true that is, though. Like, he started Ortega 2 games in a row now. That doesn't seem to be like the act of what you do for like a number 2 goalkeeper. I don't know. I'm still of the view that you should stick with one goalkeeper for the majority of league games and for that consistency situation. But there we go. Next Wednesday, indeed. Grealish and De Bruyne / Foden and Gundogan may help us until Jan. Hey, potentially. Grealish could be that solution. Again, I'm so happy for him because he's had a lot of haters. And in fairness, he's had fair criticism. But we all know Grealish is my favourite City player. So I'm really happy that he had a good game. And I'm really happy that everyone's bigging him up, even like people who don't like Grealish. So really happy with that. Jack's my boy. Thank you again, Andrew, for the super chat. If we get to Jan and City 5 points behind, it's over. It depends, Andrew. It depends. It does depend. Because, and I said this on Hassam's channel, I said, if we get 6 points behind and we sign a midfielder who can totally solve our issues, then I will say, and there's no ridiculous injuries, I do think City will win the title. The only issue is that midfielder isn't attainable in January. We're not going to get that player. So if that happened, then I would agree with you. But I think you will be fortunate enough in that City will not be getting the player who we should be getting. Someone who got 2 assists against Liverpool tonight, if I do believe correctly. It's not going to happen. But you also need to have a look at Arsenal, man. A week is a long time in football, and all of a sudden, Arsenal are only how many points behind? 7 points. That's a loss and 2 draws, isn't it? 2, 4, 7, yeah. That's not an impossible situation. Arsenal are still there. Arsenal are still there. Grealish will be doing an Iniesta type role. Yeah, big up. Nah, yeah, okay. Yeah, fairs. E-Ink fairs. Before you super chat next time, but you better upgrade. I swear down. I swear that's not good enough. Ake and Akanji both injured, says John. Asks John, sorry. On the Akanji one, someone told me that Walker was warming up at halftime. I missed it. Apparently Walker was warming up before halftime anyway. So maybe that was like a thing because I think Akanji was struggling for fitness in general. So maybe that was a pre-planned sub. The Ake one looks a bit more serious. It looked like it was a hamstring injury. Like he immediately pulled up and said, I need to swap. I need to swap now. Sorry, I need to come off. So I suspect he won't be back until Jan, which is a massive issue. Because what this team needs right now, as we've established today, if you have a solid defensive foundation, the rest of the team performs better. It's not a coincidence. It's not just a case of De Bruyne came back into the team and now everything's sunshine and roses. A solid foundation is like the initial building block for a league-winning team, yeah? Obviously, scoring goals is more important than keeping clean sheets and not conceding goals. But still, you've got to have some sort of foundation. Obviously, the best thing is to have a combination of the two. So it's a massive shame that Ake is out. So it probably means that now we're going to have to do what Gvardiol, Akanji, assuming he's fit, Gvardiol, Akanji, Diaz, and Walker is probably what we're going to have to go back to. I will say on Walker, I thought he played well in the second half. Fair play to him. Like, he even did like a good block. So fair play, Walker. I thought he had a good second half. But it's an issue long term. It's an issue going forwards. And we're going to have to wait and see, aren't we? We're going to have to wait and see. Yeah, I thought Holland played well. Bob to win us the league. In Bob we trust. That's what I'm saying. Bruno G, 2 assists. Give him to me. I don't care how much money, throw the money. If we are, like, as Andrew said, 5 points behind Liverpool on the 1st of Jan, give Newcastle 150 million quid. And just sign him. Because he fixes all our problems, literally. And I'm so convinced that we win the title at a canter with Bruno Guimaraes in this squad. I'm very convinced of that. You just give them the money, if that's the thing. If we're like 10 points behind, then it's probably not relevant. It's like nothing we can do there. Why? I mean, Andrew's doing all these super chats. Why aren't my alerts coming up? One sec. Oh, great. It's disconnected. Wow. So sorry about that, Andrew. All my fucking alerts haven't been coming up. Me dancing with Evie's not happened. I apologise. It will happen now for future ones. I don't know why that happened. I'm so sorry, Andrew. You're doing a lot of super chats there. Thank you so much. I want to swap Nunes for Isak, whatever the cost. Isak, I saw the clip of the goal. Unreal. Unreal. Yeah, Darwin Nunez is not the one, is he? Of course I'm talking about Bruno. Of course I am. The one to be doing Grealish and Haaland through ball to Gvardiol was class. Yeah, definitely. I agree. I thought Haaland played really well. Even though he didn't score, but you don't. That's the thing. You don't need to score to have a good game, even if you're a striker. You can still have a good overall game. That's why we're not GA merchants on this channel, guys. Yeah. But just on GA, it was very lovely to see 3 different players not called Haaland score. You know, Doku getting his second of the season, Bernardo getting his first of the season, De Bruyne getting in on the action as well. So that was really lovely. That was really, really lovely. I apologise for saying he couldn't finish. It still needs to improve. It was a very lovely finish today. He still should have scored another goal, but hopefully he can build from there. And he keeps illustrating that he's got this talent, he's got this end product, he's got this quality. Just need to see it on a more consistent basis. I'm still convinced that Doku's ceiling is unbelievably high. Just need to see it on a consistent basis, and we'll have like one of the best wingers on our hands. It sounds really simple, but it is the case. Yeah, I totally agree, Miami. Walker, Diaz, Gvardiol, Lewis are available for Palace. Is it confirmed Akanji's out? Or was that just precautionary? If that is the team, then we're a bit shafted, aren't we? Go for Lewis at left back. Christ. Thank you so much again, Andrew, for the super chat. Can't Liverpool play under 21 for last Champions League games we already through? Is that against the rules? Isn't there something like you can only play the players included in your squad that you submitted? I don't know exactly what the squad ruling is, but I think you've got to like submit a squad and then that's what you have. Or can you add academy players, in fairness? Maybe you can do that. I don't know. Yeah, like or perish, big up Jack. How many likes are we on, actually? How many likes are we on? Still got around, looks like we've got around 200. Okay, I'll let you guys off. I'll let you guys off. We got over 115. Fine, I'll shut up about it now. I won't shut up about it. That was lovely beyond belief, yes indeed. It was a lovely bit of shot stopping. Hate watching Brighton tomorrow. Why? Why you hate watching Brighton? What have they done to you? I know they beat us fair and square. Hello? Don't be mean to Brighton. I like Brighton. Shout out. Chris Wood, class again. Lovely dragged miss and then nice tuck for a header. We love that. I don't know why he keeps doing that. Yeah, again, Ruben Diaz, and this is what we was talking about before. And this is what we were talking about before with the fluidity of the system. Ruben Diaz just popping off to right wing because he can, because he wants to, because of the vibes. Ake as well. I can't believe I didn't talk about this. Ake, he got injured. He was doing absolute bits in terms of bringing it out from the back and finding Gvardiol's runs. Shout out Ake. We need our centre-backs to do that a bit more, probably. Big up. I don't want Moani. 4 GA for Docker in 6 starts. Decent stuff. Yeah, big up. Can Docker reach Sterling's level? I don't think he can reach his output, but maybe he can get close to his like prime level. I don't know. Kanji can make it, but would have to see. Indeed. Pep's confirmed it. Oh, God. Right. Yeah, and again, this becomes an issue, doesn't it? Because now it means that we're going to have to either play JSP, who I wouldn't mind playing, actually. In fact, I probably would rather play him. I think my back four would be probably, it depends what we want to do. If we want to do this, then we shouldn't play Lewis because we want Gvardiol pushing up to midfield. It depends what we want. If we want Gvardiol staying back, then we should play Lewis. If we want Gvardiol pushing into midfield, we should play Walker. If that's, JSP playing in the centre. And genuinely, because of how good Gvardiol is in the centre, I'm probably going to say start Walker, in all honesty, because then you can have a back three of Walker, Diaz, JSP, and Gvardiol pushing into the centre. If that's what we plan on doing against Palace anyway, 3-on-6. Maybe that'll be a thing. I don't know. Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, that makes sense, to be fair. That does make sense. Get Sterling back on loan. Ake, underrated player. I love him. JSP over Lewis, says Ryan. And again, I love Lewis, but I just don't know if now's the time to be playing him. Play Bernardo left back. I don't know. How long does it take to recover from bronchitis? By the way, does anyone know? Because that's what Foden has. Again, we need him back as soon as possible. Like, we need our injured players back as soon as bloody possible, please. When's Kova back? Is he back this month? We need you back as well, mate. When is Stones back? We need you back as well, mate. We need all the options we can muster. Madness. If Doku becomes a 10-goal 10-assist player, I'll be happy. No, I think he can do that. What's he on this season so far? He's gone 2 goals and at least one assist in the league. Let's have a look-see. Let's double check, shall we? Let's double check. He's on 2 goals, 2 assists so far this season. What did he get last year? 3 goals, 8 assists. But I think 3 of those were in one game against Bournemouth, to be fair. There you go. So he's only 1 off, equaling his goal tally from last season. That's nice. That's lovely. That's chill. That's chill. Weeks, oh, for God's sake. 2 to 3 weeks. Depends how severe it is. 2 to 3 weeks. Could be a couple of days or 2 to 3 weeks. Right, okay. That's a massive shame. Because again, we need him. We need everyone back. Yeah, I just hope that we can, like, maybe survive until the new year, question mark. Maybe that could be a thing. I don't know. Andrew, you coming up, mate? Oh, that's changed as well. But I haven't changed your So, Andrew, you've currently got 3. 3 of these profile pictures are yours. So thank you, Andrew. I need to update that. It still can't do profile pictures. Bear with me. We're working on it. But there you go. You've taken up 3/5 of the widget, Andrew. You're a real one. Thank you so much for your continued support, you beautiful man. Confident Doku would be lethal. I'm convinced of that. I'm convinced that Doku and Savio are confidence players. If it's acute, it should be like a week. We'll see. Our commentator said Kova went to Belgrade for some special treatment. All sorts of top athletes do it. If true, hope it helps. Yeah, well, again, we need him ASAP. ASAP. We need this 100%. Chances of Haaland playing centre-back. Yeah, from a Liverpool perspective, you need Alisson back. Yeah, Kello's been playing well for you, but I hear he made like a massive blunder for the 3rd goal, which is a massive shame, of course. Chaps, I've been live for another 15 minutes or so. Do we have any other comments or thoughts or questions or queries from the game? Let me know. Let me know. And we can address them. We can have a chat, of course, of course. Thank you once again, Andrew, for all the wonderful super chats. You are such a beautiful boy. Thank you to Sazid, Ewan, and Tinsy for subscribing to the channel. Would you still play Nunes Would you still play Nunes alongside Gundo if Grealish plays midfield? No, I don't think so. I think that we discussed this earlier, Ryan. Grealish is maybe the middle ground between starting Nunes, or rather getting Nunes' qualities, but still having a player who Pep feels he can trust in that area. You don't need to play Nunes and Grealish in the midfield. It's a bit overkill. It's like playing, you know, Kovacic and Gundogan in the same team, or last season when Grealish was playing at left wing. It's like playing Kova and Grealish in the same team. I don't think it's needed. So if the solution from a Pep perspective is, or rather if a solution is Grealish in the midfield, I don't see the need to play Nunes, in all honesty. It probably makes Pep feel a bit more confident to play a Savio or a Doku out on that left wing as well. So I'm happy with that. Holland defend the Forest corner as well. True. Use Nunes as a winger. I'd rather we use Doku as a winger, to be honest. What are we playing on the weekend? Asks Rodri. Can you please get back to full fitness, mate? Well, outside of the defense, where we don't know what it's going to be because of injuries, it seems like it's going to be Lewis at left back or JSP playing in the back four. I probably would prefer JSP, as I say. Then Gavardo can push into the centre. The midfield, I imagine, is probably going to stay the same because Kovacic is injured, Foden is ill, Nunes isn't trusted, and as I've discussed, isn't needed if Grealish is playing there. McAtee, Wright, O'Reilly, they're not going to get any game time, are they? So we're limited. Bob's still injured, Foden's injured, Kovacic is injured, Rodri is injured. The midfield's going to have to be the same. Like, this has forced Pep's hand. Pep was clearly forced to play this midfield, essentially. The only other option would be would you play Nunes instead of someone, but obviously not. So it's got to be the same midfield, hasn't it? And it wouldn't surprise me if it was the same attack as well. Obviously, Haaland. I would like it if Doku retained his position. I would personally still like Savio to play out on the right, but maybe it's another Bernardo one. Again, I still would prefer Savio there, but that's the thing. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was the same front five. Just the defense that's going to change due to injuries again. Yeah, Grealish just played really well, didn't he? I think basically the same team, Steve, because of necessity. Even if he wanted to change it, he can't. He can't. And I think Pep will want to upgrade some players here. I don't think this is in his head his final form of the team of the available players he has. But we'll have to see, won't we? We'll have to see. A 3-1-5-1. Yeah, 3-1-6. Yeah, exactly. I was just doing my numbers then. We never had any issues. The league just got boring for Pep. He decided to make things a bit difficult. Okay, chill. Haaland dropping deep and getting passed more often. Is that a permanent thing? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I wouldn't mind it if Haaland could keep doing that. I don't want him to turn into a Harry Kane where he's so deep and it's sometimes frustrating to watch because he is still the best striker in the world. We still want him to be in the box. Of course, he's like the best goal scorer in the world. But it obviously helps to be able to have that string to your bow. Of course, of course. Berbatov called Arsenal the new Stoke. Brilliant. I've not seen their goals. How did they score today? How did they score today? Yeah, you should. You should, definitely. We'll be live for another 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Any other questions, thoughts, comments? Get them in now. Can you think about 3 players to get for next season? Try and give second options to. Oh my gosh. So in the summer. Oh, corner, classic. Yeah, so like in the summer. Well, if it's the summer, then I'm going to be less realistic. I'm not giving up on Bruno Guimaraes. Get Bruno. Get one of Geertruida or Singo, is he called? And we need a centre-back as well, don't we? I don't know who that'll be, though. There's some names for you. I don't know who the centre-back would be. Mbappe stinks. Those are my thoughts. He stinks. 2 from set pieces. The swines. There you go. You see? Big up Bilbao. That's my Spanish team. Big up the Basque Country. Big up the Basque Country. Do you know him, Jack? Yeah. I already have. I love Doku. I'm a big fan of Doku's. Almost all our players look tired. It's not even January. I thought I looked up for it today, I'll be honest. Big up to you, Terrell. I don't like Edison. I'll be so real. I don't think that he's the solution. I just think he's too similar to like a Nunes. I don't really see the appeal of Edison from my perspective. I would not be happy if we signed him. Happy to be proven wrong. Instinctively, I wouldn't be happy signing him. Oh. No, I didn't, Musty. Shut up, you little liar. Why are people suggesting Edison play outfield? What are you on about? Chill, Ryan, chill. Maybe sign some players in Jan and see others start to slip up. If, again, I'll repeat, if we are still somehow within a couple results of first place come Jan, then I'd be so disappointed if we don't make the most of it in the Jan in the Jan window. Because this season, guys, is weak. I think I've said this many times. This season, this league season is weak. I'm so convinced that if City didn't have ridiculous injuries, like in particular to Rodri, I'm quite convinced that we would have walked this league. And maybe that's disrespectful to Arsenal and Liverpool, but those are my thoughts at the start of the season. And looking at Arsenal and Liverpool this season, my opinion has not changed. I'm very convinced that would have happened, so it's a massive shame that had to happen. But injuries happen, it's a thing. And it's our own fault in terms of our squad building, but I'm still convinced that would have happened. Shut up. Doc motivated by Rodri saying City need Nico Williams. I do love Nico. Thank you very much, mate. 100k is the target. I want that plaque. I think that this channel, us guys, you and I, we deserve it, yeah? I think I deserve. We deserve. I think we deserve. I don't think Gundogan's able to play back-to-back 90 mins. It isn't a surprise, but I don't know what we could do. Well, not really much when Kova is injured. I guess as an alternative, let's say Gundogan isn't available. You'd have to play Bernardo Silva there, wouldn't you? That's really the only other option. You'd have to play Bernardo there. Which wouldn't be absolutely shocking. It still wouldn't be great, though, would it? It still wouldn't be great. You know, that's where you're wrong, Jack, because I've literally made room for it. There. The space under the sign, that's where it's going to go. That's where it's going. I've already decided. Must end your existence. Like the video, guys. You know the drill. I love all our little widgets and our little unique things. No one else has got this. It's fun. Nico or Doku? I think, well, Nico's better than Doku, yeah. But we've got Doku, so you get me. So obviously. Right. Another 5 minutes, chaps. Any final thoughts? I've got OCD. I like to leave it exactly rounded 15-minute figures. We started at 10:30. We'll be here for like an hour and 15. Yeah? Covered by the massive... Wow, Jack, that's crazy. Or maybe it could go there. I don't know. Maybe I can move stuff around. Like, it doesn't matter, does it? We'll see. We'll see what we see. It'll be a while before we get that anyway. What do you think about Gundogan? I thought Gundogan played well today, by the way. I know that he lost the ball in a silly area, but I thought Gundogan played well, in all honesty. I thought everyone played well. Even Walker when he came on. And again, that's not a coincidence. Pep changes it to something which is a bit nicer. All of a sudden, we play a lot better. It doesn't surprise me at all. I think that, I know that De Bruyne helps make other people tick, but I think you could have had, someone else where De Bruyne played today, and City still would have looked a lot better. Wouldn't have looked as good. But it's just like, finally, we're actually looking nice. I don't think they're similar at all, to be honest with you. I think they're very different. I think it's not until Jan. Musty, what? Do you think we'll give Callum a run? Oh, is that the centre half? Is Doyle? Probably not, because don't we keep sending him on loan to championship clubs? So I doubt it, in all honesty. He's at a championship club, right? Am I being stupid? He's played there once and he couldn't play there very well, and he's injured anyway. So I don't know if that's even true. We look completely comfortable on the ball. Yeah, 100% Terrell. Just looks so much free-flowing, fluid football. I just don't know why we've not been playing like that all season. I don't really know. Can't quite put my finger on it. Again, it's not just De Bruyne starting. There's more to it than that. But long may it continue. We'll see if it can continue. He's at Norwich. 5 assists. I thought he was a centre-back. He's got assists from there. Fair play. Oh, gosh. Excuse me. Right. I'm going to be... What's my schedule? I'll be live on Friday. For something or other. Why am I live on Friday? Oh, Touchline Talk. We'll just be doing that. Just having a little chat about City in general. And that sort of thing. And then obviously the Palace game on Saturday. And a Post-Mortem thereafter. So stay tuned for that, chaps. I'll just get through these last few comments and then I think we'll wrap it up. Oh, he's a cheeky left-back, centre-back, left-back hybrid. Big up. Jack better than Phil all of a sudden. We'll have to see, Raptor, won't we? I think that they can both play on the same team, in fairness. I hope Ake's injury is not serious. Yeah, same, but he's probably going to be out until Jan. Gahey this Jan. I don't think he's the level that City require, to be honest with you. I think Gahey's like a fine defender, but I don't know. If he did, I can't remember that. Even the left-back, centre-back fares. Can we buy Rodri? DHD, when Foden's back, do you think he will replace, or will he replace anyone? We'll have to see how the team's performing. You know, you don't get gifted starting positions in this team instinctively. He's obviously one of our better players, so I'm of the view that he will make us play even better. I think it's such a shame for him because had he played today, I think he would have had a very good game. And he has played well when he started the season, outside of the Liverpool game when we all played badly. So I'd have no doubts he would have played really well. Maybe similar to like his Sporting performance when there was a bit more freedom in that first half in particular. So I don't have doubts that he can improve this team. I think that's one of the players Pep will be looking at and saying, this is going to improve the side. And that will help with all the rotations, especially as well. That'd be really nice to see. Definitely. Why people are saying we were comfortable. Oh, no, we have discussed today how it still wasn't perfect. There were still some errors, of course. I did preface it by saying Forest weren't particularly impressive. But, hey-ho. Overall, they're still a step in the right direction. That's why I'm not getting crazy. We're still not going to win the league, in my opinion, as things stand. Still not going to win the league. But a step in the right direction. Pep was answering phone calls when she'd been finding solutions. Brilliant. Ortega's better than Edson. At shot stopping, yes. At shot preventing, no. Why do other players get into positions Gvardiol gets into? It's frustrating. Wrong player in the right place. He's just instinctively very good going forwards, isn't he, John? It also helps how he starts from defence and then pushes up into the midfield. Like, again, today, he was playing left central midfield, technically, so big up to him. Next mission is for City to get back-to-back wins, 100%. And back-to-back clean sheets would be good as well. Let's make a 2-0. I predicted 2-0 against Forest. We got 3. Even better. Let's go 2-0 against Palace, shall we? A Haaland brace and a couple De Bruyne assists would be a lovely time. A win's a win. I'll take it. Absolutely. Right, guys. That's going to be the end of the show. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. The next stream will be on Friday at... Let me double check. 6 o'clock on Friday, so be back for that. Hopefully we can win then. Then, when I go on panel shows next week, it will be a lovely time, and I don't have to sit there and, you know, get abused because City lost. That was not fun at all. Having to explain that it's a systemic issue rather than like certain individuals. Absolutely staggering that the level of, or rather the lack of understanding from an analytical perspective is pretty impressive. There we go. Thank you so much, everyone. As always, big up to Andrew, by the way. Insane amount of super chats. Where's that? 5, 7, 9, 11. £11 super chatted in today. Thank you so much, Andrew, for that. Big up to you. Thank you, everyone, for just watching in general and hitting the like button. It really is appreciated. I'll see you all on Friday for even more touchline talk stuff. Until then, guys, have a lovely rest of your evening. I'll see you all on Friday. Love you all. Goodbye. I don't love you all. Goodbye. I love some of you.